some say the villains, or should we in this case just call them the antagonists of some, the rightful antagonists, is that the word I was looking for? No, probably not. Are a little bit underwhelmed, and I'm just slapping my face saying they're supposed to be underwhelmed. They are antagonists. Sorry, I'm too tired to scream right now. Also, it's worth noting that they were caught off guard, and also this is to show just how much advanced Shiki and the gang is. Yes, it's me, the Angry Fan, the Despair reviewer, although I technically just review Eden Zero, and this is Eden Zero Chapter 174. The cover is a fan service of a sister being chained up in a leather dress thing of a dominatrix. I thought she didn't really like to be dominated. I think she'd like to dominate others. If it weren't for her speech, that would have been exactly very sexy. So either way, Noah confirms indeed that Feda's ether gear is indeed the eye of God, but she uses it to predict Ebony's movements, while Noah just uses it to see people's locations. He cannot aid them, but they are not really willing to look for him for aid. Connor is still surprised though that they are willing to do all this. And so the arrogant Feather gang begins to appear when Feather tells them to open fire because no bullet will hit anyone. Even, well, Laguna says that they should have made a little speech first, like how every antagonist does things, lucky acting. Of course, Shiki stops bullets with his gravity powers, which Feather arrogantly saw through. And here comes the one thing that is a little bit difficult to understand, is the fact that she then uses Ether Connect to a team called Team Alpha. And I mean, it's worth noting that you can connect your Ether gear to a certain Ether Connect, but this is the first time an Ether gear or a power of an Ether gear has actually been shared to another person, so to speak. That's kind of unique. Or is this implying though that even Feather is an android, just like Eraser is suspected to be? Or is this just some kind of other power that she can use with her Ether gear? Either way, by doing this, she connects Ether Connect to the other feathers of the Team Alpha, allowing them to predict the movements. However, that doesn't mean crap, as the Eden Zero gang is blazes right through them without any sign of stopping. Because just because you can predict some movements doesn't mean you can keep up with the movements. Also, Wise shows some pretty neat things here. I mean, everyone shows some neat skills, even though it doesn't look like that different on things before. It's still an improvement of it all. It's just Wise thing that is happening that is very difficult for me to understand. He holds a rifle in one situation, activates the ether gear, and then suddenly he has a robotic arm. What I mean is, it's not exactly confirmed for me if he used the machine gun to transform into a mechanical arm, or if this is meant to say that during the time skip, Wise actually has gotten a mechanical arm, just like his future counterpart did. It's not exactly known. Granted, since we didn't see the rifle, I actually presume that maybe he connected the rifle into a gauntlet of his. Shiki then stops them all with a ground pound. As Captain Connor watches them making short work of the feathering of all, he marvels at their power and wonders how can such young folk be this strong. And Noah, well, as we all know, Noah is very likely much older than he looks. He looks like a Bishonen, but he is definitely older than any of the gang here, except of course Connor, because he calls them also because they're young. They see fewer problems, solving problems, and they make them more sensitive and more straightforward. But they fight to protect their family and prevent a little more for lost families, because everyone in the Eden Zero crew is orphans. And hearing that, Captain Connor actually gets shocked and slightly emotional. Oh yeah, and it's actually revealed that Pino has a cute bunny backpack now. Even though I don't like her serious faces, it's very cute to know that she still can be adorable. Also, Happy is upgraded now to actually have a solo fire gun. And Rebecca actually shows that she has unlocked overdrive of the time skip. In her overdrive, she wears a nice leotard that exposes her back and, of course, her very sexy legs, along with cat ears and a cat tail. That is sexy. No one in Team Alpha actually understands on how they can not defeat the Eden Zero. So Homer actually points out something that all of those complainers in real life also should realize, and that is, you see our movements, but you cannot handle them. Because just because you see some movements, that doesn't mean you can do anything if you can't handle them. And then it looks like Feather is gonna do something, but Shiki appears right in front of her, and Feather actually implies that she saw that he was going to appear, but not in that location that just happened now. And by patting her shoulder, Shiki also pins her down in gravity, stuns her. A lot of people probably complain about this, saying that Feather is being very overwhelmed, and once again a female is being very put down and blah 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 blah, all that kind of crap. But it's worth noting that Feather underestimated Shiki. So of course all of this happened. She underestimated Shiki, so it was very easy for Shiki to manage to pin her down. Besides, they were just fighting to do all this all. Feather implies she had something more up her sleeve, but we didn't see it. But she's confident that the ships around everything else will stop them. And even the two Shrine Maidens says that they have to use force if they want to break through it. However, strangely, Connor has actually decided to follow them. He didn't want to follow them to the ship because, well, he's scared of Siggy. But after hearing Noah's resolve of them being orphans, as well as seeing how strong they really are, he decides to accompany them. Because he says that he can guide them through their armada without killing anybody. Because we are gonna escape the Union's army clutches. Well, if this Captain Connor is just as good pilot as the other universes are, then yeah, they can actually escape Feather's army pretty easily. So that's basically this chapter. Short and sweet, but it was pretty neat to see all those arrogant Union Stellar Army being plowed like that. Yes, it makes them a little bit underwhelming, but to be honest, their designs was just meh. So of course it just happens to do that. As of Rebecca's overdrive, well, I'm not exactly sure why we decided to see that right now. It's sexy, so I guess that it's fine. But I have no idea why we decided to see it now. We didn't really see much upgrades on the gang, except just some quick shots, but it's clear that this is to show that they have become stronger and more adapted to it all. Yes, that Feather didn't show anything is disappointing, but I wasn't expecting anything anyway. Maybe she'll show some other movements ever. I don't really know, or I really don't care, because, well, it's an antagonist, and they have to be weak. Connor decided accompanying them, that's a surprise, but I hope it will be good. Oh yeah, and by the way, the sister called Feather's ships the Racer type here. Well, a lot of the Russian says Galactica's ships are named after the Russian says from Fairy Tale. Are we to presume the fact that they call her ships the Racer class that maybe Feather's ship is modeled after Racer of the Russian says Russian says Fairy Tale? Give me a false if you have any.